Today's hottest music, Hot 103, you got it locked on a Sunday afternoon. Your boy Henry G hooking you up all your favorite Latin, hip-hop, and oldies. Right now, it's an honor to be joined by leader of a group who's been active in the music industry for over 40 years, still going strong, Emilio Castillo of Tower of Power. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Henry. Good to be here.
Over 40 years in the music industry under your belt. How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Young as ever.
Now, when you were starting out in the industry, you guys did cover songs, right? You didn't do original material?
Yeah, like most kids, we learn to play other people's material first. And then when I met Doc, my songwriting partner and my baritone sax player, Doc Kupka, he's the one that told me, he said, what you do to these songs that we're doing is amazing. Where you change the rhythm and come up with these ideas to make them different. He said, but why are we doing it to other people's songs? Why don't we write our own? And I don't know that I would have ever had that idea. I was happy doing what I was doing, but I told him, I said, well, we can do that. So we got together, and the first song we ever wrote was You're Still a Young Man.
You guys had the opportunity to perform on Soul Train. Tell us what that experience was like for you.
I remember Soul Train, they had artists come on and lip sync to their music. And our manager at the time, Ron Barnett, told them that we wouldn't appear if they didn't let us play live. And they kind of hemmed and hawed for a while, but they really wanted us on the show. And so they finally gave in, and we went on and we played live. And that, just playing live before the Soul Train gang, was really exciting for them, Instead of dancing to a record and watching some guys up there pretending to be playing, they had a band actually hitting them in the face with some real music. And that was a really exciting time.
One of the things that really stands out distinct about Tower of Power's sound, the horns. Tell us how that came to be such a big part of your sound.
Well, we've got 5 of them. That's over half the band, so it's bound to be a big part of our sound. But I first got exposed to horns when I was a teenager. I saw a band called the Spiders, and I went out and hired a trumpet the next day. Soon after that, hired another one, and I've been adding horns ever since.
We're about to go ahead and get into your song, You're Still a Young Man. Before we do, I understand that it's based on an actual experience that you went through. Go ahead and give us the story behind it.
Well, I was 18 years old, and I was in a relationship with this woman that was older. She was 24 years old, and she had kind of broken up with me and gone back with an old boyfriend and come back to me and went away again. And she was always telling me, you're too young to love somebody my age. You need to be with somebody your own age, And I was, of course, protesting that I was in love with her, and that was the basis for that, too.
Today's hottest music, Hot 103, here's Tower of Power, You're Still a Young Man. More with Emilio Castillo on the way right after this. Today's hottest music, Hot 103, Henry G here with you on a Sunday afternoon. Special guest Emilio Castillo at Tower of Power. Now, I know you guys formerly had a member of the group, Lenny Pickett, who was from right here in Las Cruces. He went on to become the music director of Saturday Night Live. Have you guys spent a lot of time here in Las Cruces or in New Mexico? If so, what do you remember from your experiences in Las Cruces or in New Mexico?
I've been to Las Cruces many times, but not a lot in the latter part of our career. But in the early 25 years or so of our career, we used to come through there pretty frequently. We would play a lot of cities in New Mexico, Las Cruces being one of them. But we would play Albuquerque, Santa Fe, Farmington. And the thing I remember about Las Cruces was they used to have drag car races up there. And a friend of mine from El Paso, his name was Tutti Garay, he had an orange Corvette that he used to race, and he called it Tower of Power. They used to love going there and seeing all the hot cars, and it was just a great place to be, Las Cruces.
And what would you like to say to all your fans right here in the 575 Las Cruces, New Mexico?
Well, I want to say thank you, first of all. I feel blessed by God to have fans that are so loyal and have hung in there for so many years and have actually brought up their children listening to our music and take pride in coming to the gigs and bringing people that are, quote, virgins, that have never heard Tower of Power live before. And we always seem to sell them when they come to see us for the first time. I'm grateful for those fans. I'm particularly grateful for the fans in New Mexico with a large Latino crowd that has been so faithful to us over the years. And I really look forward to going out there and playing for them again soon.
Now, as we said earlier, you've been in the music industry for over 40 years. If you could pick one, what would you say is the biggest change that you've seen from the time you were starting out up until now?
Well, for one thing, back then everybody lived in the neighborhood. If you wanted to tell somebody something, you ran over to their house and you told them. These days, my band lives all over, the United States. When I want to tell everybody something, I send them an email and they instantly know it. If I want to make music and I'm writing a song, I can send a set of lyrics over to a guy. He can write a bridge, put some chords to it, send me a lead sheet over the internet. The internet changed everything.
Today's hottest music, Hot 103 Henry G here with you on a Sunday afternoon. Special guest Emilio Castillo with Tower of Power. We're going to come back and wrap things up. First, though, here is Tower of Power. This is So Very Hard to Go, Hot 103. Today's hottest music, Hot 103 Henry G here with you on a Sunday afternoon. Special guest Emilio Castillo of Tower of Power. Now, I know you guys are still very active. You guys still tour pretty extensively. You guys just got back from Europe. Any fan interaction from Europe that sticks out to you?
Well, the thing, that also has changed from the times when I first started is that people fly to see us from all over the place. Like when I play Vegas next week, there'll be people coming in from Georgia, from Louisiana. And I remember coming out, between shows at B.B. King's in Manhattan, and this guy telling me, I am so-and-so from Moscow. I go, welcome. I said, what brings you to New York? And he says, I come to see Tower of Power. And I said, well, thank you very much. I said, what is your business here in New York? And he says, you do not come to Moscow enough, so I come to see you in New York City. I have no business here. I come to see Tower of Power.
Wow.
You came all the way from Moscow just to see us? Yes, that is correct. I come to see Tower of Power.
Wow, that's definitely a diehard fan. Now, what do you want to say to all your fans out here in Las Cruces going through their daily struggles and at the same time aspiring to reach their goals and their dreams?
Well, I want to say don't quit, because if you quit, you're definitely going to be a failure. I want to say align your life with God, live the right way, and you'll reap the rewards of doing that. And no drugs, no alcohol, no gangs, none of that foolishness. Be serious about life, but enjoy it.
Now, with everything that you've been able to accomplish over 40 years in the music industry, what are you personally most proud of?
Well, these days, the thing I'm most proud of is my relationship with God. I learned a long time ago that when I live my own way, I generally work at destroying myself, and I nearly lost everything. And then I cleaned up, sobered up in '88, got on a spiritual path, started a relationship with God, came to Christ in 2004. These days, I live my life with Jesus Christ.
And when did you first realize the magnitude of your guys' success?
When I had my first record, and mind you, this was no big success. It was mostly a regional success in the Bay Area. But just when I woke up one morning and I was listening to the local FM station, KSAN Radio in San Francisco, and I heard the flute from my song, Sparkling in the Sand. And I couldn't believe that I was hearing my song on the radio.
We're about to go ahead and get into that track, Sparkling in the Sand. Before we do, I want to thank you for being a part of On a Sunday Afternoon right here on Hot 103.
Welcome, Henry.
Here it is, Tower of Power's first hit, Sparkling in the Sand. Today's hottest music, Hot 103.